Well, I will admit, Johnny Boy has been kind of on an up streak. He was been on the right side more than the wrong side recently. He was very critical of The Acolyte, which I agree was not a very impressive show. And he stood up for Deadpool and Wolverine, which you might think is easy to do, but apparently certain parts of the internet think Deadpool Wolverine is the worst film of all time. It's the worst version of Deadpool and Wolverine. It's disgusting and evils. So saith the EFAP, but Johnny disagrees, and I don't know, the numbers don't really lie. So he's been more right than wrong recently, but of course, all good things have to come to an end, and I am just stunned. This is the thing. This is the hill he will die on. And I don't even know why he feels this way. It's just very weird our arithmetic he's going with. But let's hear him go on about how we need to all stop talking about Wesley Snipes and Blade. We just need to stop it, guys. Just stop it.
I'm just seeing a few people bringing this from life. Can we stop with this bring back Wesley Snipes' Blade nonsense?
I don't think they can.
Can we just stop? Because it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Like you can't do. By the way, I just want to remind everybody. Here's a little, because I think there's a little bit of a Mandela effect when it comes around to the Blade movies. I think people somehow think they remember Blade movies being some huge, massive hits. If you take Blade 1, 2, and 3 and combine all their box office,
Is it a Black Adam?
it's a Black Adam.
Nice.
I just wish they
It's
did.
400. It's about $400 million. The last Blade movie, worldwide, made $130 million. Listen, don't get mad at me for just stating facts.
Well, minor spoilers. Yes, Blade appears in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it is the Wesley Snipes incarnation. I know people were hoping for the Onyx version, and I like Onyx, but I don't know if the Onyx actor as an actor is that good. I don't know. It's a bit of a question mark. Some of the Onyx people can act, but I don't know. It's a little mixed record. Anyway, so Onyx did not appear, but Wesley did. And Johnny's like, guys, come on, face it, the numbers don't lie. Wait, he's comparing a film from the late 90s when the superhero trend, yeah, there were some superhero films, and let's be honest, there were some massive films like Superman, Batman. There were a few other major hits. Listen, I saw Spawn in theaters, and that did respectable, but again, they weren't the guaranteed moneymakers. So he's going to compare the late 90s when superhero films here and there were massive to today when almost all superhero films make a lot of money and it's just guaranteed bank for the most part. Is he freaking kidding me? There's just different eras in movie history. I mean, for instance, Catwoman was made. You think that was made because they loved African American women history? No, they did it because they thought they were going to make money, which they did not, thankfully, but that was the time period. And some films were that quality. They were really, really bad. And I will admit, even though I stick up for Blade 3, yeah, Blade 3's performance was kind of erratic, and they had a lot of production problems. So yes, the quality of the Blade films, as well as their box office, was not the strongest, but holy cow, he's laughing off $400 million. $400 million. He's like, it's only $500 million, right? And again, we have 100 million to get to a $500 million, but seriously, a series of films that can get you to $500 million, that is very impressive. And again, that was back in the day. Can you imagine now with the way they do budgets? I mean, Joker made $1 billion with a B. You don't think a really good R-rated film made for what, 30 to 50 million can't do good box office? Yes, there have been some major failures like Crow, Borderlands. There have been some massive failures, and maybe a few more are to come. Like the Francis Ford Coppola one, the Populus, whatever. That looks like it may not do very well. And I agree with John Campea. It will probably flop. However, there are exceptions to the rule. Look at Twisters. That thing is almost 30 years old. It's making bank. Not massive bank, not like Deadpool Wolverine bank, but it's making really good bank. I really don't understand what his point is. If you can get to 400 million, I think that's pretty respectable. And like it or not, Wesley is still popular as Blade. And this is a final thing. I don't think Campea realizes his role in all this. If he says, I don't want Blade with Wesley Snipes, it was fine, it was done, let's move on. A lot of fans are now going to be for this just because he's against it, just to make fun of him, just to play with him. And usually I'm not one of those people, but I got to admit, like, listen, one of the reasons the Snyder Cut movement worked is him, because he was such a hater and such a propagandist for WB that it worked for Snyder's favor. So I realize that he and Snyder have bad blood, and recently he hated Rebel Moon because, I don't know, he needs to hate something, but really he needs to wake up that the Snyder movement worked. He was wrong. He was wrong. He was dead wrong. But we got to thank him because really one of the great things about the Snyder Cut movement is we could all get together and make fun of John Campea. He was like such a major symbol of what was wrong with Hollywood, and here he is at it again. Well, if listen, the fans want it, and a lot of fans do want it. I think I include myself. I am nervous if we do it. Yes, I am nervous, but you can do Blade in his own universe, and you can have whatever the normal Blade, and apparently that will not happen. So it is what it is. If the fans want it bad enough and they're willing to pay for it, I don't see the problem. And if it fails, well, it fails, but it's honorable failure. There is a market, there is an audience, and let's be honest, with Wesley as Blade, it's not going to be hard to come up with a story. You can just imagine a Morbius versus Blade story. Again, there's many avenues you can go down. That's fairly simple for him to do, and he is still in shape. Wesley Snipes is in shape. It seems like we're just there. It could be done really easily with a fairly small budget. I don't know. There's a lot of potential. So I'm going to vote for Blade. Like it or not, Johnny, once again, you may have inspired a movement, and you're going to be eating crow in a couple years, no pun intended. But hey, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to join the pro Blade movement here. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for pissing me off again. Thank you. Thank you very much.